I'm Whitney Stevens.
And I'm Yo-Yo Blackfire.
And this is Unstable.
Okay, so we've talked about family and how we were brought up and where we come from, but something that we haven't really talked about, but that definitely falls under one of the categories of intimacy that we've been dissecting and discussing is spirit and I mean that is often translated into religion. Did you grow up with religion in your life?
Kind of. We didn't go like religiously. Funny enough. But yes, like my family is Christian. We definitely went on all the major holidays. For a while in my high school years, we went every Sunday. It was a kind of a short period of time, but
I know you come from we've talked about you come from a very, very small town.
Mm-hmm.
Was the town religious? Like, was it like like I know you hear a lot about like small places tend to be like very driven.
I would say it was like everyone was, yeah.
It was a very Christian place.
There's probably like 8 churches in a town of 500. Like, why?
You know, that's a really big thing. Even here, actually in Phoenix, if you drive up and down Central, you'll notice that like
there's a ton.
Almost every corner has a church, and that church has so much land. Like, why don't we build a shelter?
That they're not paying taxes on.
Yeah, like what is going on
Don't
here?
Don't get me started on that either.
Okay, so you grew up kind of Christian.
Yes. My family is Christian. Like, my parents both believe in God. I don't really know how my siblings feel at this point, but my parents are definitely, like, they believe in God. They don't, like, go to church all the time, but they are definitely, like...
God-fearing people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what that's the term, right? God-fearing.
Right, yeah.
I grew up religious. I grew up very, very Jewish. We went to Chabad, which is known to be, like, one of the more religious, orthodox... there's a term, they call them Lubavitch, or they call them at a certain point Hasidic. I have my payas, that's the term for the curly sideburns, and that's usually a Hasidic thing that I like stayed connected to my culture by keeping when I cut my hair. Mm-hmm. But I grew up very religious. Like, I was so religious and also so me and queer that I was like, well, there's a halacha, which is like a belief or a custom that's like religiously or spiritually driven. And there's a halacha that women wear tznius or tzniut, which is when you see the Jewish women with long sleeves and long skirts, because it's modesty. And as a child, I remember being like, well, if a woman should be modest, like I could be modest too. And like as a kid, I usually only wore like long sleeves and like long jeans.
Okay.
And so how that affected my body dysmorphia, we can get into it a whole nother episode, girl. But, I mean, I grew up really religious, even to a point where, like, I mean, I did go to different Hebrew schools. I even tried to go to, like, a yeshiva, which is, like, a private, closed, basically, like, Jewish boarding school kind of thing.
Right.
And obviously everything for a reason, because queer I am, you know. But I don't consider myself religious, because to me, religion is a practice. Whereas you can be spiritual. I've always considered myself like very like ethereal and connected. Mm-hmm. People have always called me an old soul. So I do feel connected to the cosmos.
Like, you know me, like I'm very like a spiritual person.
I know, it's actually funny. I remember that recently you had a memory come up on Facebook.
I'm like into tarot.
Right, you had a memory come up on Facebook that was like, horoscopes and hullabaloo and
are so stupid.
And then 10 years later we were like, we're dealing out tarot cards.
Check on me now.
Tarot cards. Cut to us now.
Yeah.
Cut to us now.
I've never been like, I would never have considered myself religious, even though like my family, I guess, is. I never like identified with religion. I don't know, like there's too many things that don't make sense to me, like as a logical human being, that I just can't get behind it. It just seems ridiculous. There's a lot of like, I mean, people use the word fanatic to describe heavy religious people. But to me, I see religions, like the divide between religions, and like if you actually take time to like read the different books, obviously growing up very Jewish, I'm familiar with the Torah.
I took time in my adolescence to read the
Like,
Old Testament
also,
and the New
who's
Testament.
to say what religion is right? Like, it's just so, like, none of this makes sense to me.
So that's kind of my thing, is like the way that I see it is that you have a group of people, nomadic wandering creatures who have been on a rock for so long, we've talked about this.
Yeah.
And we have had connection to the energy, the universe, the earth, all of those things. But we've also all been on different places on the planet, and until really recently, when you think about it in the grand scheme of history, have we all been so connected and been able to come together from all different corners of the world? And when you read the different books and you really look at it from a more macro scale, a lot of the different religions ultimately have the same concept.
Yeah, to keep people in line.
I mean, yes, but I think that the problem
It's
is
literally
that
like the original law.
no,
honestly.
I agree. I totally agree. I think that religion is used in that way,
To keep
but I
people in
don't
check.
think that that's the origin of religion. I think that religion has an origin of like faith and wanting there to be more because of whether it's fears or insecurity or like whatever, the mundane of life or whatever. And I think that there is that like root to it, but I think I agree 100% that the way that religion has been monetized and also like, mind you, like completely tax exempt. Like the government, like back in the day, our founding fathers who were wearing wigs and powder, by the way, girls.
And heels.
And heels. Like, what do you think? They got all up in the gig just to go do this thing, and you're gonna tell me something? Okay, whatever. They're just mad that they planted tobacco leaves instead of marijuana. But we'll get into that later.
Okay.
Like when they decided we're gonna separate church and state, like when you really think about it, they weren't actually separating like the church and the state. What they were actually kind of doing was creating like a classist and racist
Shocking.
divide in the idea that like, oh, well, all of the black people are gonna go to church and all of the white people are gonna be in the government. That's our separation of church and state. That's like historically when you look at it, like because there is never, I mean, our Constitution says like under God. Our like we literally like our money says under God. Like
Right.
who's God? Like not like what? Is that like how we call like how in our community
I mean,
we say dad, like, oh dad, oh God.
You're not gonna get me started because literally it just none of it makes sense.
Okay.
None of it makes sense.
But so being
Like
someone
very highly intelligent people are like, yeah, a guy got swallowed by a whale. Like it's so fucking ridiculous. Why are people like, yeah, that seems logical? Like you're a smart human being. That's absolutely stupid.
I don't have an argument because I don't disagree with you. I think that there are so many things, and that's when people are like, but this is the catch-22, right? People are like, well, yeah, but you can't take the Bible too literally. You're taking the Bible literally. No, you don't tell me.
Only,
that I'm not gonna
only
take it
when
literally.
the argument goes against it do you not take it literally, but
Right.
all the other times take it literally.
Oh, well, you know what that means.
So stupid. Okay, I got that whole whale thing off my chest because that part really pisses me off.
There is a joke to be made about whales. I'm gonna let you guys do
All
that.
I know is if I get swallowed by a whale, all I gotta do is start a fire in its belly and it'll spit.
So what you're saying is the Bible taught you some important life skills.
What I'm saying
What you're saying is,
this is absolutely stupid.
what you're saying is it that if you are on a hike and you see a dry brush bush catch
And you
fire,
swallow me.
you talk to the bush. No, talk
Yeah,
to the bush.
a burning bush that wasn't on fire.
Listen, I've done plenty of drugs. We'll talk about it later this season.
Seriously,
but-
I think whoever wrote it was on drugs.
I mean, drugs are a big part of like some cultures. I mean, I know that the like indigenous people use peyote as like a spiritual experience,
Right.
which kind of like some, you know. And I would actually say that like
I think I just get mostly mad when there's like very highly intelligent people, and I'll even use my family in this example because my dad is one of probably the smartest humans I've ever met in my life, like crazy smart. But then is like, yeah, this makes sense, and I'm just like, what? How?
blind faith is something that I can't get
behind either.
I can't get behind blind faith. Now, is there a part of me that like maybe has some sort of like I believe in energy. I believe in
Same.
energy.
Yes.
And I understand I see a place where like science and fantasy and history. Like, so that was kind of what I was getting at earlier, was like, when you really read the different books, religion really breaks down to the different sections of the planet that people were on and the experiences that they had.
Right.
Because a lot of it really just brings us all on a very similar journey.
Yeah, there's gonna be a bunch of people that hate me after this episode.
Sure, but there were even more that hated you before.
It's true. It's not really gonna change.
Nah.
I'm definitely like a very spiritual person, as you know. Like, we'll sit down and do our tarot readings and we'll meditate and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean, even more, like, beyond that, like, I consider myself a very metaphysical person. So, I mean, we've talked a lot about the idea that, like, you manifest destiny, or, like, we talk about things and then we make them real.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very big on that, right? You meditate and then you take action, right? And then you
put it out in the universe.
You don't, yeah, and there's that place where it comes together, that it's energy, and then there's where it becomes real, and there's us in the middle that gets to like find that magic between fantasy and reality.
That's our spirituality.
Right, and that's spirituality, I guess. Like, yeah, 100%. Like, to me, I am very guided by my spirit. Like, I would say that I am, like, even before I'm sexually driven, I would say that I'm spiritually driven as like an entity and as a creative.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is something that people do feel innately with me sometimes, is that I'm very, you know, technically my drag name is Cosmic, because, you know, that's
I
how I
forgot
feel.
about that.
Yeah, it's Cosmic. And then when I was taken in by my mother, it became Cosmic L'Amour, which means cosmic love. And,
Right.
And it is my mission in life to rebuild the human connection by breeding love and spreading compassion and radiating positivity. And
You said breeding.
well,
That was on a previous episode.
still me. Still me.
No, 100%. Like, I think I've become more in tune with my spirituality over like the last, I would say, like year. Like I said, like my Facebook statuses don't age well, but 100% become more in tune with spirituality, and I identify as an intuitive. Like, I feel like I'm
Right, and people
intuitive
innately
to other
understand
people.
that.
Yeah.
Like, people get that about you even without meeting you. I mean, there was that guy on our 145 feet away episode who literally messaged you on Grindr, was like,
Yeah.
I feel like you're a fellow intuitive.
Yeah, it's a thing.
No, I mean, it is a thing, but so to me, I think that there's like a fundamental difference between spirituality and religion.
Mhm.
And I think that spirituality is intimate, and while religion can be intimate, it is more of an action, and it's more of a physical manifestation of maybe your spirituality, or maybe your
Right.
values or your beliefs,
So-
or maybe your environment.
So since you grew up so like immersed in religion, how does it play a role now? Does it play a role in your life at all anymore?
I would say that I identify as Jewish ethnically and culturally, but I mean, I guess when you, like, a big part of the Jewish faith is kind of like more of a peaceful, like, I know that that's kind of controversial because there's so much that goes on in the Middle East, but like the religious practices behind it are often like, you find like I never had issues with like being queer. Like, a lot of the time, like, not that it doesn't offend people, but like they're not, like, you don't see Jews the same way you see like Catholics or Southern Baptists, or people who are like actively going out of their way to like
Push their religion on other people?
not necessarily just push their religion, but like take action against those who. And I mean, I guess that's
have the same
controversial.
beliefs.
I guess that's controversial because
Yeah.
there's so much going on in the Middle East, and it is based on like this history and this religious differences. But to me, like I said, like we're all like from the same genus, and like we're all like byproducts of like being wanderers on this planet for so long, that like even though there are so many different like practices religious wise or beliefs spiritually, like none of that should come before like the human connection.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's no reason to treat somebody like shit based on the fact they don't believe the same way you do.
Yeah, and I mean our differences
Which
bring us
happens
together, right?
way too much. Is your dad still like part of the church? Is he still like
So we don't
active?
call it church. We call
Okay.
it shul. We call it, well, it's like we don't refer to it as like being part of the church. That's the difference, I think, also with Judaism is like, even though there are like communities within synagogues or temples or shuls or whatever you call them, it's not like being a part of the church. Like, sure, there can be memberships or this, that, like whatever, but like really, like you're either like people use the term observant, because you are observing the rituals, the customs, the beliefs, or the practices.
Is he still actively involved?
Yes, my dad is actively involved. He goes to shul like almost every day. He's like very that way. Does Shabbos, like he doesn't like to like eat not kosher meat. And like I grew up very that way. Like we grew up like keeping kosher. And then eventually it was like, ooh, we could eat like fish and dairy.
Remember when I made you a birthday ham?
Yes, so during when the pandemic first hit, it was just before my birthday last year.
Very insensitive of me.
And we were planning with our chosen family a nice birthday dinner for me.
Yeah.
And Whitney was very excited. She was like, oh, I'm going to make you dinner. I'm going to make you a nice birthday ham. And our very dear
No, I
friend
didn't tell you. I brought the birthday ham.
No, you said it in the chat. You were like, I'm going to make you a birthday ham.
And everyone's like, you're bringing a ham to a Jew's birthday?
Wait a minute. Yeah, what? You're making a Jew ham. Are you sure that and it's a tradition now, actually. It's part of our religion.
Yeah, now every year
we have a Jewish
you get a
birthday ham. A Jewish birthday ham.
Yes, with a Meyer lemon glaze. Yeah, it's a thing. You really liked it. You were like eating it before it was even like done.
That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
We've talked about this. I will put anything in my mouth.
Super enjoyed that birthday ham.
No, I do love to eat, and if anybody wants to cook for me, just put a little extra arsenic in it so I don't have to come back.
Oh Lord, I'll make you another birthday ham. So like, I did go to Bible school every summer. So like
every summer.
Every summer.
Like, you were shipped off to camp.
Yeah, like my grandma would come pick us all up, like me and my cousins.
Like beep beep.
Yeah. And we all and then like all of us stayed at her house for like I think it was like a week. Like
Wait. There's a difference between I went to Bible camp and I went to grandma's house and we had to do Bible camp at
Vacation Bible School, I believe it was called.
At grandma's house.
Well, grandma was the Bible school teacher.
It was just your parents all getting rid of you to grandma's, and grandma was a religious girl. So you guys, what?
Well,
did you, like yodel hymns?
No, seriously, every year they like gave you a tape of all.
They meaning your grandma. Your grandma. Stop making it sound like this was the church's fault. This was grandma's fault.
No, grandma was a teacher, one of the Bible school teachers, but we went to the church every day.
Oh, so it was like
for a week. Pretty much, yeah. And they like there was a whole package like of a whole like booklet of like things, activities, and then there was always a tape and like you sang all the songs for that year. So like
okay, so like do you remember any of these songs?
I think I just like like I was like do Lord, oh do remember me. I don't know why.
Okay, no, you know what's so funny though? I'm not gonna lie. So like I didn't get sent away to any camps or anything, but like we had like a local one at our temple.
Well, I mean they wanted to, they just couldn't find one to send you away to.
Honestly, I think if they had sent me away, I wouldn't have come back.
There's that.
Yeah, but no, we went to Jew camp and
Jew camp.
There are like different little songs.
You can't call it that.
You can't call it that. I can. I went to Camp Gone Izzy at the Chabad in Phoenix, and I remember one of the songs that we sang that was like a little like kids song or whatever as Jews. And I think about this. I think about this all the time. It's not super religious, but it kind of is because the guy goes, "Don't walk in front of me, I may not follow. Don't walk behind me, I may not lead. Just walk beside me and be my friend, and together we will walk in the way of Hashem." That's where it gets kind of Jewy.
I like it.
But it's kind of cute, right? It's like, I really like that idea. It's like, you know, just be side by side. We're a little bit off side by side because we have to fit both of us in the frame looking like we're on the same
I wish
plane.
I could find one of my Vacation Bible School tapes.
I bet you your mom has them. I bet you we could get a hold of them.
No, my mom is about as sentimental as me. Like, she throws everything away.
Wow. Throw it out the window!
You know how I am. I'm like, get rid of it. Like, no sentimental value to anything. To items. In general.
Of your own.
Yeah. No, but we would literally.
My binky, you'll save in a case for 62 more years.
We would be in my grandma's Geo Prism, driving 20 minutes and listening to this same tape every single day for that whole week.
So you guys just like sang.
And we're all just like singing in the car, like all my
like
cousins
Jesus
and me.
Jesus, Jesus, set me free.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, no, we didn't do that. But I will say, for some reason at camp, I remember us listening to and singing, and it has nothing to do with being Jewish, but our friend has a similar experience when she went away to Jew camp. For some reason at Jew camp, we sing Cats in the Cradle.
I can't get comfortable with this.
Cats
whole
in the
Jew
Cradle.
camp.
First of all, and there are cats in the cradle and a silver spoon, little boy.
Yeah.
What? At Jew camp?
Yeah, why were you guys singing that?
I don't. We didn't have our own songs.
You didn't have your own tape?
No, there was not
First
a
off,
tape.
tape. You were already into the CD era by the time you were going to camp.
Yes.
Yeah, I was still using.
There were like
tapes.
iPod minis.
Oh my god, I remember my iPod Mini
I had a blue one
with a little
with a little swirly thing.
and a little screen.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, my
That was before they switched to having a full screen.
my Bible school songs were not on one of
Your
those.
grandma's summer camp.
My grandma's.
Mima's Bible study class.
I swear it was a real thing. It wasn't just my grandma. She just happened to teach one of the classes.
It just so happened to be at her house.
It was
She
not at
made
her house.
breakfast. She ate
She
lunch.
did make breakfast every day, and
She tucked us in with kisses.
my grandma was absolutely the worst cook ever, by the way. And for the morning, you know, like those like budding like lunch meat slices, those teeny tiny thin lunch meat slices, budding ham. No, all right. Anyways, my grandma would fry those and like pretend like it was like
And that was like Jesus's breakfast.
yeah, something like that.
Did you guys do like communion-y stuff? Like, is that? I don't know how that works. I'm not in that.
I mean, yeah, you take communion.
I'm not. Okay, so like you've been drinking wine since a young age.
Yeah, but at church, it's like it's not even wine. It's like terrible grape juice.
Oh.
So
Jews, we drink a lot of grape juice.
yeah,
We do. I like grape juice. I still drink it.
Welch's.
I prefer Kedem.
What?
Kedem.
What is that?
It's like the Jewish.
Is that
Manischewitz. I think
kosher?
it's Manischewitz. Yeah, it's kosher.
Oh.
I mean, I think that that one is kosher too.
Welch's?
Yeah. I could be wrong, but I
don't
think
know.
it is. I think it's kosher.
I don't know.
But that's so funny.
I only end up in that aisle on accident when I'm looking for other things.
Condoms. Oh wait, why would you be looking for those?
Like I have a use.
Well, they hand that out for free where we work, so.
It's true. All right, what's your wrap up as far as religion and spirituality?
You said wrap up after we were talking about condoms.
You're welcome.
You're so funny.
It's so funny.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just curious, like, I guess before we wrap up, like, we talked about not being big fans of, like, organized religion, but we are spiritual people, and we do find ourselves, I think, like, we are obviously all creatures of habit.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any practices that you have? I mean, like, I would obviously say that I smoke religiously as, like, kind of a ha-ha, but also it's true.
Yeah.
But, like, there are things that, like, I wish I was doing better. Like, there was a period of time where I did meditate a lot more, like, practicing-wise. And,
Yeah, both of us did.
but I mean, like, are there things that you do that are like practices for your spirituality, or like grounding things, or things that, like, even though it's not conventional religion, they're the things that you kind of are practicing the way that people practice religion that, like,
Yeah.
help keep you centered, focused, grounded, connected?
I feel like I try to take like at least like 10 minutes every day for myself, whatever that means. Like
Not
if it's-
together.
No.
15-second increments.
All day long.
Yeah.
No, like if it's meditation or if it's like putting on a freaking face mask, like
We do that.
we
Also,
do,
like,
we do love that.
going, just like laying out by the pool, getting some sun. We've talked about that, even for
Yes.
our mental health. Like, that is so important. And I think that, like, taking care of myself and, like, my mental health and my wellness, I think that that is kind of where I would like what I like the way people have religion, like that's kind of my like what I want to care about and focus on and practice
Right.
is like my wellness, because like I think that like we're taught that these religious things are for our wellness, but really they're like to keep you out of hell, and like newsflash, Jews don't believe in hell. So
Also, I have like a reminder on my phone every day at like 10 a.m. I know you have your reminders too, but like it comes up every day at 10 a.m. and it just says enrich someone's life, and I like try to make it a point to like do something for somebody else every single day.
I have an alarm that goes off at about 9:45, but it just says flush the toilet.
Well,
You want to do it?
I think it's most important that we say, whether you're spiritual or religious, that you respect other people's beliefs.
100%. Never yuck someone's yum,
Yeah.
because you don't know what is keeping another person going and another person believing and another person sane and happy and
Absolutely.
motivated. And you know what? We don't know.
And
You
also,
know?
I did go off, but it's just my own personal view, and I would never like try to force my view of being not religious on someone else. But I think it's most important to just be understanding to everyone's beliefs.
Yeah, no matter what you believe in, remember that compassion is always the best thing to lead with. And I'm pretty sure that no matter what religion or spirituality you identify with, that's kind of the core message behind it all.
Absolutely. And on that note, I'm Whitney Stevens.
And I'm Yo-Yo Blackfire.
And this is Unstable.